weather, but gardening is whatever, right? We just deal with whatever we're given. So I'm Alaire Unica, director of the Utah Seed Exchange, and I haven't really done a spiel yet. We've left it up to Caleb, but I'm going to give you a little one today. So we're here to see some stuff that's gone to seed and what it looks like and what we do with it and how we save those seeds. And I'm just going to start us out here. Just so you know too, if any of you are not on the email list, I assume you all are because I only gave the address to people who got the emails, but just in case you brought a friend, you can put your name and email address on here and I'll add you. All right, so I just wanted to go over a little bit. Last time we met we did seed starting, and I've just got a little bit more to do on that, and I want to focus a little bit more on the potting soil because I had some issues over the last month with my potting soil, and I got some solutions, so I thought I'd share them with you from whatever I come up with. So the first thing that I did with my potting soil, I used a lot of compost, and it ended up drowning my roots, and then with this heat that we've been having, it baked the top. So between the roots and the top, I just completely killed off my starts. So I needed something lighter. It's just better if I yell, right?
Are these starts in the ground?
These are pre-starts. So what I've been doing, because I don't know about you, but I really don't like putting my seeds in the ground and waiting, hoping that something's going to come up. I like something a little more precise than that, and knowing. So what I did, this is just a sprouter, like you would sprout and then eat your sprouts. This is my favorite one. I've been using about 4 different kinds. I borrowed a bunch once I realized this was working of all kinds of different ones, and this is my favorite. So what I do is I put the seeds in, and
what variety is that?
I think it's Vittorio.
Something like that.
I got it on Amazon. My mom got them for all of us for Christmas. They're the best ones. So I put my seeds in here, and they come with 4 different trays. You can do 4 different seeds at a time, and then I put a little piece of paper labeling each one, stick that on my fridge with a magnet so I know what I'm doing. And I just sprout them. And I didn't soak or anything, I just put the hot water Caleb told us, right, with our seeds. So every morning I'd fill this with hot water, let it all drip down, and within a few days, I know which ones are sprouting and which ones are not. And the ones that are not, I'm not planting, I'm just getting rid of. And even of the ones that are sprouting, I'm just planting the very best ones. And I plan to do that every year until I just have the very best of the germinating seeds. So I kind of like that aspect of it too. So this is a watermelon. You can see you can let them get quite big. So I've also kind of learned as I've done this, you want to let them get at least probably 2-3 inches before you plant. Then I move them to planting. You see all these ones in the paper pots? Those are mine that were done in this method just in the last couple of weeks. I started them just 2 weeks ago from seed.
Do you use hot water each time?
Every time. In fact, when I plant them, I've been using hot water for a bit there too. Just off the tap, just hot off the tap, like you wash your dishes. Just turn it to hot on your tap and fill it up.
Will you hold one of those up? Is that the length they should be then?
Yep, right about here is where you're going to want to plant them. Okay? When they've got, definitely when they're leafed. And even some of them will separate.
Big size. That's
Yeah.
bigger than I would have thought. So that's good.
I've been doing it about here. If I planted them smaller, they've just kind of gone, it hasn't worked out. This is about the size that you want to plant them at. Okay? And you can tell too, you've got a nice healthy root. Some of them are better than others. And again, I can then just pick through and say, hey, here's the great ones. And I only want to plant what's the very best. This one, the root, not so bad, but a little bit wussy. I might not plant that one. Throw that in my compost if I've got enough. And then I've got a bunch of seeds here that didn't germinate. Straight from here to these pots. So that's what we get to the potting soil, because I want a really nice potting soil to put them into to make them strong, and then I'm going to harden them off, and then I'm going to plant them out in the garden. So I've got a couple of watermelons here, different ones, and down here, because these have been in the same time as those, so I'm not going to plant these. These are the late germinating ones, and I don't want them. So it's been 2 weeks.
Just 2 weeks.
These were all put in here at the exact same time, the ones you see here. Okay? So again, I would have grown all of these if I put them out in the ground. Some would have come up later, but this way I'm getting the very best, and that's what I'm giving you guys that I brought today. I had so many that sprouted and looked lovely, and I brought what I didn't need.
So you're picking out the first ones as they sprout and leaving the rest to keep sprouting.
And I may or may not plant those. But I'm keeping the very best for, you know. Now this is corn because I couldn't get my corn planted where we're going to for our project this year yet because some chickens were getting loose. So I've done the corn this way too, and I then put them in nice big planters, and we plan to get those planted today or Monday. And then the corn, I like to have a nice big, see, here's your root, there's your sprout, and again I just put them into a big pot of potting soil, and then I'll get them into the ground. So it's worked with everything, even really small seeds. You just have to be, keep an eye on those, and then the water drains down into this, and you just do that, and just once a day, hot water. So, and hey, if you're not going to plant them, just eat them as sprouts.
So Lair, how long do you keep them in there before you put them in the ground?
Well, Casey and I've checked that too. So you want these to probably be at least 6 inches tall, 5 to 6 inches before you put them in the ground, so they've really gotten strong. And you'll see some roots coming out of the paper on these, so they're really taken. Now when I get it, so I'll do the soil, when I get them into those, and these are the exact paper pots that we did last month. You just roll them around a cup, shove it in the bottom, pull it out, put my potting soil in there around it, and then I got these little trays at the dollar store so that I can water and it catches the water, and I actually built in with some nice wood into my 2 south-facing windows some shelves, and that's my greenhouse. I just put them up on those shelves, and I water these every day just a little bit. The nice loose potting soil so that water just goes right to the roots and through. You don't want it sitting in water. So that's again why the potting soil is important. So I've got 2 different kinds of potting soil here. The first one, I just wanted to use what I had around, the really simple one. Nothing you'd have to go out, no vermiculite, nothing that you have to go out and buy. You probably have these things. So here's what I came up with, that all of these are in this mix that I'm going to show you here. So this mix, 1 part dirt from my yard, 1 part compost. This is the Eco Scraps compost. Any compost, doesn't matter what compost. You can use manure, you can use whatever compost, your compost, whatever compost you want to. So 1 part of that. By the way, I have to tell you guys about Eco Scraps. If you want to buy that bulk, I've made an arrangement with them. You can go with the trailer and buy it much, much cheaper than the bags. And they're in Orem now. So that's cool. This is wood chips. Garden of Eden wood chips. I know a lot of you have those now. At Eco Scraps, you know how the BYU guys, they're in Orem now in Geneva, and you can buy, if you take your trailer or truck, they'll sell it by the yard, and it's about a quarter the cost of buying the bags.
And then, have you found a place to get
Well, I got Payson's out, that's where I got all mine, but yes, I have another source that somebody sent to me that's actually $5 a yard, and I will, if you email me, I will email you back and tell you who that is. It's a tree service.
Tucker.
What is that? Yes. So then 2 parts wood chips. And this is what keeps it nice and loose.
So the one by Geneva, is that the green waste place?
It's not. Well, I don't know about that, but Eco Scraps is a company, and it's all vegetable compost. They get their vegetables from various sources I cannot disclose, but it's good vegetable compost. It's what they've got there. It's good stuff. And that's what I have here. So this mix is 1 part dirt, 1 part compost, and 2 parts wood chips. Got to keep it really loose. So you just mix those together. I do it in a big wheelbarrow with a shovel because I need a lot. And I'll pass that around so you can feel that. And that's what all these plants are in.
This is your potting soil?
That's the potting soil I use for all these. Now I have one other alternative on the potting soil that I'm kind of testing out, but got it, and you're probably thinking, what the heck is this? This is coconut core. So you know the fuzzy stuff on the outside of a coconut? That's what this is. So it's all natural, biodegradable, all that good stuff, and they compress it into a block. I bought this off of Amazon. And you break some of it off, and you put it in water, and it gets wet, and this is,
Dirt.
what's that? And this is what it looks like after you get it reconstituted and put some water in it. And I'll pass this around. I did this last night. Huh?
Is that an alternative to wood chips?
Yes, and then I did a mix.
Repeat the question, please.
Is that an alternative to wood chips?